All right, we are live. We are live. Let's see if we are live in places we need to be live in. What do you say? Yes. All right, there's one place. And let's see about ya. Yes, we are live there also. So now, what we are doing today is we are going to finish the story of James Madison. Okay. I just had to check my mic. Okay. So we're picking up on James Madison, his presidency, right? So this is where we left off yesterday and where we will be picking up today and hopefully finishing. So, Monday, maybe if my co host loves me or not, we will be doing the Constitution Monday. Okay. So, Madison's presidency. Ugh, what is happening in life? Ugh. Okay. Although he was accused of weakness in dealing with France and England, Madison won the presidency in 1808 by publishing his vigorous diplomatic dispatches faced with faced with a senatorial cabal on taking office. Huh, interesting. He made a senator's he made a senator's lackluster brother, Robert Smith, Secretary of State, and wrote all important diplomatic letters for 2 years before replacing him with James Monroe. So he was a cabal by himself. Interesting. Although he had fully supported Jefferson's wartime shipping embargo, Madison reversed his predecessor's policy 2 weeks after assuming the presidency by secretly notifying both Great Britain and France, then at war, that, in his opinion, if the country addressed should stop interfering with U.S. commerce and the other belligerent continued to do so, Congress will at the next ensuing session authorize acts of hostility against the other. Dun dun dun. He's like, keep it up, I'm gonna fuck you up. Something is happening. What is happening? Okay. Just do it this way. Oh, you know what I never did? Let me tell you what I never did. I never shared my screen because I'm fucking fun. Yeah, here we go. I know what the fuck is happening. Except for, no, I don't. What's happening? Okay. There you go. I know what's happening. Maybe if I did something like this. Wait, what's happening? There you go. Okay. Okay. I know what's happening. Okay, here we are. An agreement with England providing for repeal of its orders in council, which limited trade by neutral nations with France, collapsed because the British minister violated his instructions. What a dickhead. He concealed the requirements that the United States continue its trade embargo against France, renounce wartime trade with British land enemies, and authorize England to capture any U.S. vessel attempting to trade with France. Madison expelled the minister's successor for charging falsely that the president had been aware of the violation. What a dickhead. These people are assholes. Can't be trusted. Mm, dun, dun, dun. Something is happening. Oh, okay. Believing, no, believing that England was bent on permanent suppression of American commerce, including cinnamon, Madison proclaimed non-intercourse with British land on November 2nd, 1810, and notified France the same day that this would necessarily lead to war unless England stopped its imprisonment of American seamen and seizure of American goods and vessels 1 week earlier, unknown to Congress in recess or the public. He had taken armed possession of the Spanish province of West Florida, claimed as part of the Louisiana Purchase. He was reelected in 1812 despite strong opposition and the vigorous candidacy of DeWitt Clinton. Oh, so Clinton tried to get in office a long time ago. Does anybody know that? I wonder. With his actions buried in secrecy, Federalists and politicians pictured Madison as a timorous pacifist dragged into the War of 1812. No, he wasn't a pacifist, he was smart. 1812 to 15, congressional war hawks, and they denounced the conflict as Mr. Madison's war. In fact, the president had sought peace but accepted war as inevitable. As wartime commander in chief, he was hampered by the refusal of Congress to heed pleas for naval and military development. It sounds a lot like Trump, don't it? Wow. Changing my opinion of this guy. How dare you? This is a bad guy. Okay. Well, you know what? Trump was a Democrat. He still probably is a Democrat. But, oh well. Okay. In fact, the president had sought peace, but accepted war as inevitable. As a wartime. Hold on. What the fuck? Where does that happen? Uh, where am I at in life? Well, I don't. Do you like Clinton? Okay. As wartime commander in chief, he was hampered by the refusal of Congress to heed pleas for naval and military development and made the initial error in trusting Army command to aging veterans of the revolution. Oh, so he didn't switch them out. That's what Trump did last time, too. That's why he's switching them out this time. Okay. The small U.S. Navy sparkled, but on land, defeat followed defeat. Dun, dun, dun. By 1814, however, Madison had lowered the average age of generals from 60 to 36, and victories resulted, ending a war the principal cause of which had been removed by revocations of the orders and council the day before the conflict began. Contemporary public opinion in the States, Canada, England, and British land proclaimed the result a U.S. triumph. Still, the country would never forget the ignominy of the president and his wife having to flee in the face of advancing British troops bent on laying waste Washington, D.C., including setting fire to the executive mansion, the Capitol, and other public buildings. Dun, dun, dun. The Federalist Party was killed by its opposition to the war, and the president was lifted to a pinnacle of popularity. Madison's greatest fault was a delay in discouraging the incompetent subordinates, including Secretary of War John Armstrong, who had scoffed at the president's repeated warnings of a coming British attack on Washington and ignored presidential orders for its defense. Oh, that sounds like Nancy Pelosi. This is changing my opinion about this guy because I like at first it's like I did not like this guy, but the more I read about him, the more it's like, oh, this guy's like Trump. Only this guy had no chin. Okay. So, on leaving the presidency, Madison was eulogized at a Washington mass meeting for having won national power and glory without infringing a political, civil, or religious right, even in the face of sabotage of war operations by New England Federalists. He had lived up to the maximum he laid down in 1793 when he had said, if we are, no, if we advert to the nature of the Republican government, we shall find the sensorial power is in the people over the government and not in the government over the people. How did he get a chin there? I don't know. That doesn't look like his picture. Never again leaving Virginia, Madison managed his 5,000 acre, 2,000 hectare farm for 19 years, cultivating the land by methods regarded today as modern innovations. As president of the Albemarle Agriculture Society, he warned that human life might be wiped out by upsetting the balance of nature. Okay. This is where your liberal comes in, huh? Okay. Life might be wiped out by upsetting the balance of nature, including invisible organisms. He hated slavery, but which held him in its economic chains, and he worked to abolish it through government purchase of enslaved people and the resettlement in Liberia, financed by sale of public lands. When his personal valet ran away in 1792 and was recaptured, a situation that usually meant sale into the yellow fever infested West Indies. Madison set him free and hired him. Another Slave managed one third of Montpelier farming lands during Madison's years in federal office. Madison participated in Jefferson's creation of the University of Virginia and later served as its rector. Excessive hospitality, chronic agriculture, depression, the care of aged and enslaved people, and the squandering of $40,000 by a wayward stepson made him land poor in old age. His last years were spent in bed. He was barely able to bend his rheumatic fingers, which, nevertheless, turned out an endless succession of letters and articles combating the nullification and secession, the theme of his final advice to my country. Henry Clay called him after George Washington, our greatest statesman. Dun, dun, dun. It's a good time. The cabinet. Do we need to know all these people? No. All right. So that article is over about James Madison. I really thought he was a bad guy. My original thought was he's an enemy. The first time I read it, it made it sound like the first time I read this, he definitely seemed like a liberal, an enemy. But now it's like, I don't really know because Congress was doing the same thing to him that they're doing to Trump and literally being traitors. Literally, they Democrats have been doing this for a long ass fucking time. I don't know. It makes me kind of sleepy. Like, I don't know. Makes It makes me feel some kind of way. Like, mm, like James Madison. I thought he was an enemy, but I don't know. But I do know he faked his Syria to get out of war. That is absolutely insane to me. I want to fake his Syria to get out of war. Wonder. Hmm, I don't know. But I do know my belly's full. I have to take my medicine and call my dad. And man, I want it to be warm enough to go outside and see the raccoons. It's not warm enough to go outside yet. They're not out. But pretty soon they will be, and I cannot wait. Anyway, I want to thank you for watching. I want to tell you I love you so much. Learn word magic because we're going into the Constitution on Monday and it's full of word magic. So we're going to learn it. Thank you for watching. I love you. Bye.